Hi everyone, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk more QI. This week we go back to Series F. We get an XL version for a recent change of pace. I think Series F was the first series where we got the XLs available to us. But I know nothing about this episode other than its title, The Future. Which could be fun because this is an episode that's now 14 years old. So a lot's changed since 2008, 9. It's 2023. Jeez. It looks like we have maybe Rob Brydon in the thumbnail. I don't know who the other guests are. Let's just jump right into it, guys. Episode 9, Series F, The Future.
Tonight we're fathoming the future, festooned with a fellowship of far-seeing forecasters. We have the wily wizard of Woking himself, Sean Locke.
Oh, nice. Lovely Sean episode.
The prognosticating archdruid of Potolbert, Rob Brydon. Our next guest, Ben Miller, who had a crack at a PhD in novel quantum effects in quasi-zero-dimensional mesoscopic electrical systems.
Okay. Is that true? Who is this guy?
And Alan Davies, who has also come along. Sean goes...
Twilight Zone. Classic track. Love it. Ooh. Doctor.
There may be trouble.
What was that?
So, the future begins now. Alan, what do you do?
Nothing.
That's such an unfair opening.
There is no such thing as nothing on any level.
Physics tells us, actually, that there's no such thing as nothing.
Does it?
Well,
In what way?
Because elementary particles become created and annihilated in the vacuum, so nothingness is really a swarm of elementary particles. But also, there's considered to be a field permeating the whole of space called the Higgs field, which gives elementary particles mass.
So this is prior to the discovery of the Higgs boson.
And the Higgs field...
Heard it.
Yeah. And we have built a huge hadron collider at CERN in Switzerland to detect the Higgs boson.
You are the best supply teacher we have ever.
I find it interesting that you call them supply teachers. They're just substitutes here in North America.
This is a really interesting thing.
We are interested.
No, this is...
Brydon
no,
and
don't
Locke.
worry, Ben. This is me looking interested.
Can Locke fix his sash, though?
Now, the nuclear weak force, the nuclear strong force, and electromagnetism are all of a similar strength.
Right.
But gravity is incredibly weak. A fridge magnet can hold a pin and defeat the whole force,
Yes.
the whole force of the Earth pulling down on it. And gravity permeates all these other dimensions, they think 10 in total, which means that it becomes weakened by a corresponding amount.
Sorry, but I have to depart from that theory.
We're getting into, like, string theory here, aren't we?
All matter has its corresponding antimatter. And I can't help but look at you, Ben, and you, Rob, and see...
There's a similarity.
Never been seen in the same room before.
What it is, we can't actually touch. Let's check.
If they touch, they explode.
Yeah, there are a lot of horse-faced people in the world. There are a lot of...
Brydon's way horsier than Ben Miller here.
They're going to make a black hole, aren't they, and actually suck Switzerland into the ground, leaving nothing but chocolate.
It's an honour and a pleasure, if I may say, Ben Miller, to have someone who knows what they're talking about on this programme. We are very, very pleased to be given the heads up.
And you know what's so good about it is there'll be a fair number of viewers watching now thinking, that Rob Brydon knows a lot about science.
He sounds funny, though.
When do you think the first time capsules were? Who came up with the first
The
idea?
30s.
Guinness Book of Records says 1940. It says the University in Atlanta.
Those are the first recorded ones in 37. Seriously, in Locksfield in Pittsburgh.
Come on.
Come on here.
Yeah.
You never believe a word I say.
Because it's all
Point in the
rubbish.
research that I do for this show.
All right, I'll believe you. However, the Guinness Book of World Records, yes, I saw, destined to be opened in the year 8113.
Cool.
It's very specific.
It's an odd year to pick if you're starting in 1940.
If you could guess why 8113, I would be staggeringly impressed.
It's somebody's birthday.
It's not
backwards
that,
or
no.
Somebody's birthday.
At the time,
Well, yeah, like August 1st, 1913, so 8113.
at the time they believed that human history began in the year 4241 BC, and therefore, if they took themselves as that midpoint,
Oh,
put
okay.
the same amount of time after
That's
the
really
time capsule,
interesting.
It would go up to 81,
That's wonderful.
which is rather split.
That's rather clever reasoning. I like that.
They should have put a bucket of water over the door.
Do you know what I like doing? The sort of the more mundane strip wallpaper off a room in your house.
Yeah.
It's a realistic version of archaeology.
But usually those things were drawn by decorators, and it'd be like Dave's. My house was repossessed, so I actually had the scratch marks of the children as they were dragged down the wall.
And of course, we've sent them into space. Mariner, was it? Voyager?
Voyager 1
which
and
has
2.
got a gold slab.
Was that designed by Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan, yeah.
Do you think there's anyone out there? I don't.
Don't you?
Not really.
Well, according to the
not?
equivalence
course
principle,
there is.
Yeah.
there have to be aliens
There
out.
have to be.
Yeah, there absolutely have to be.
Yeah, but I
It's a
doubt the
principle.
equivalence principle, in all honesty.
The whole of modern astronomy is based on the principle that we're not in a unique position
Astronomy
in the
or
universe.
astrology?
Oh, stop it!
Oh,
Think
I'm
about
not backing it up.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
Good.
debunking it.
Yeah. But in fact, if you're watching QI now, and you believe in astrology, you're banned from watching it. Nothing in the laws of physics forbids time travel. But if this is the case, where are all the time travellers?
She could do so much better than him.
this point relates nicely to the business about where are all the aliens, the Fermi paradox. Enrico Fermi. I will spare you the details.
No, keep going, please.
Hawking mirrored his quote. When you say there's nothing in physics that prevents time travel, that's not actually strictly true, because there are plenty of physical laws that are not reversible, such as the second law of thermodynamics.
So really what you're saying, swings and roundabouts.
So the question is, are we human beings only capable of living in a universe in which we experience time in a thermodynamic sequence, in a linear thermodynamic sequence? Or is time actually reversible?
Is it multiple choice?
There's the girdle. On Earth, 4 years would pass. Well, in your spaceship, only a minute passed.
That's exactly right. What Stephen is saying is that time travel is possible. Time travel to the future is possible.
Well, we're all travelling to the future, aren't we? Just very slowly.
Brydon and Locke are frustrating me a lot in this episode. Because let's talk about intelligent things, and they're doing the constant buffoon reaction to smart people, which may be funny to some, but is just, I thought this show celebrated interesting stuff.
My objection to all this physics is that you can't explain it to just ordinary people. You could actually just be making it up.
Until it makes machines work. That's the point.
Yeah.
People can talk about quantum P states and N states, and they can talk about this, and suddenly you've got a computer, and you go, I think you'll find...
I was the same with the leaf blower. If you could explain to me the theory of the telephone, I'd had the same expression at the start I had at the end.
Ben, help us out.
You need something called a transducer. You need something that's capable of changing one
I'm
energy
gone.
form
Lost me
into
already.
another, which if you compress it, it creates an electric charge, and you can set an electric... You speak into it, it vibrates, it converts that into electrical currents.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, like... Why couldn't Dara O'Brien be one of the guests this week?
I think for people who find it hard to tell us apart, I think we've hit upon a good way now, haven't we?
In 1955, Variety magazine predicted that what would be, I quote, gone before June.
Color
May.
movies.
I said they predicted wrongly.
July.
You made me look a fool.
No, you did that.
Television.
Television is not, but you're a much...
Cinema.
It's an F show, Frisps.
If it was 55, it was Elvis Presley.
Wider.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll is the right
okay.
answer. Say that.
Don't look so stupid now, do I?
You don't. But all things are relative. Now, in 1977, Ken Olsen said there is no reason for any individual to have a what in their home.
A computer.
Butler.
No, this will be computers.
Computer.
A computer, he said, exactly.
Oh, he was wrong.
He was very wrong.
I know quite a few people who've got one.
Yes, yes. In 1955, what nuclear-powered device did Alex Lewitt predict would be a reality within 10 years?
The atomic car.
No, but as daft, really.
Hover boots. Like, that is the height of scientific and technological advancement. And Ben now is going to talk for a little while about...
It's not a hover thing, but it is a domestic appliance that he thought...
toothbrush.
A nuclear stove.
Hoover, yes, electric vacuum cleaner
They had
powered one.
vacuum cleaners in America in the 19th century, and they were huge, and they had to go on the back of a cart drawn by horses.
I remember seeing that on a programme called QI. Yeah.
I know it. I don't know where I know it from.
What did St Augustine of Hippo catch St Ambrose doing that had never been done before in public, but which nearly all of us now can do? And it seems natural to us, but it was just not done.
Burping.
And it involved reading.
Did his lips move?
Reading.
His lips did not move, is the point.
Presumably,
man,
if you
St.
could read,
Ambrose.
then you sort of wanted to show off a bit about the fact that you could.
I think as an
Yeah,
overlap,
it was-
whereas he did the opposite.
I sort of think of myself as a man of limited talents, and I just wish that I'd been around then. I would have blown them away. I can read whole books like this.
But I have to say, they would have been in Latin.
That's where I would have fallen down.
Also, you could have given them your Ronnie Corbett impression, which goes,
Is Ronnie Corbett one of the two Ronnies? Is that where I know that name from?
what are the pillars in the middle of the open area for, those four pillars?
Hoodies to lean on menacingly.
Hold the
Decoration?
roof up.
Christopher Wren, fine mathematician and an extraordinary architect, he reasoned quite correctly that the pillars were not necessary. But the bureaucrats who had said it's, no, you've got to have the pillars. So he deliberately had the pillars made too short. They
Like
have
that?
no supporting role whatsoever.
We had a builder like that, did our extension, actually.
But did it fall down? Or
Yes.
Did it
Yes.
fall down?
He didn't do it on...
Has Britain ever actually been invaded by robots? Yes.
Well, I'm guessing they have.
Yes, they have. And
Yes.
when?
40s. 1880.
40s is the right answer.
Four.
The
The airplanes.
Doodlebug and the Buzz bombs, the V1
Yeah.
and V2. And the point is not just that we're saying they are a kind of robots. They were called robots. They were called robots more than they were called Doodlebugs in the 40s.
What's a doodlebug? Was that just a rocket? The bombings?
V1
Tell
and
you what,
V2.
when the
bombs
V2
were.
landed on Chingford Plain, it was quite widely discussed.
Oh, really?
I'm familiar with the V1 and the V2, but tell me about the doodlebug.
We're in the process of it now, and those robots are the bloody call centres that we have to put up with.
Oh, you should be a stand-up
All
comedian.
on a cameras
Yeah.
take photographs of us everywhere we go.
And yet, we can't catch anybody who kills somebody.
A couple of mad old men moaning about the state of Britain. They're going to fuse into one horrifying Rob Miller.
Like a sort of Siamese twin.
All right.
Ah, the self-love.
Now I know why my wife married me.
Just horrible. Where do we get the word robot from?
I can't get that out
Robotic.
of my head.
We get the word robotic from the word robot.
Yeah.
Is it Polish or something?
Must be an acronym, right?
No, it's not actually. It's from a perfectly good Slavic word, robota, meaning a drudge slave worker. But now, back to the future. What will be the language of the future here on Earth?
Well, if it carries on the way it is, it'll be the sort of hoodies that Ben and I are so firmly against. Kind of like talking like this, everybody is going to talk like that, and that is like, it don't matter where you come from, you're going to talk like that, which I hate.
It's not far off from Belter in The Expanse, honestly. But
It's generally thought to be English, in fact, but a certain kind of English.
It's like kind of English.
No, it's not.
Because I am a bit of an old fuddy duddy. Oh, it shouldn't change. But of course, language
It must
does
change.
evolve.
Absolutely.
It evolves,
I
doesn't
can't
it?
bear people being
Yeah.
anti about language.
Well, I
it drives
am,
me
yeah.
mad whether or not someone said more, fewer or less. It actually, it just, they're
Absolutely.
showing off.
Hey, you told me off for fewer or less. On no fewer or
Oh,
less
yeah,
than 3
obviously.
occasions.
Apparently, as many as 80% of people who speak English do not speak English as their first language.
It's the lingua franca, yeah.
And the one that seems to be growing is a thing called Panglish, they're going to call it. There's a version at the moment which is spoken by a lot of people called Singlish, apparently, which is a mixture of English, Chinese and Malay. See if you can see what these words mean. Lay Leo, Layleo. Lay Leo.
Instructions from Mrs. Sayer.
No, it's just radio. No, it's radio, Lay Leo. Rolex?
A Rolex.
Rolex.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's rubbish.
Yeah, this is...
Orleng Tsu. It's a drink. I have a glass of Orleng Tsu, orange juice.
Orange juice. So this is basically making fun of the Chinese inability to distinguish between R and L vocally.
You know, I had said to me in Singapore,
What?
"You, lick Ashley." It's 1988, and I was mistaken for the pop star Rick Astley.
Oh! No, he was asking to lick you to lick his ass.
Yeah. You lick us, please. There is no more mysterious language, of course, than Welsh, where mini golf, for example, is golf mini.
Get away.
True. True.
Crazy.
Do you know anything about Klingon?
Oh, yeah, that's a proper language now, isn't
It
it?
seems to be. There are degrees in it, I
Yeah.
believe. It's rather difficult to have normal conversations in it. There are words for things like a transporter ionizer unit. Also, for the bridge of a ship, which is mech. But there's no word for a bridge that goes over a river. But they have translated Hamlet into Klingon.
Is there any word for what have I done with my life?
Trekkie, I think, is the word for that.
These guys are so anti-nerd.
Ĉu vi parolas Esperanton?
Quidditch.
Do you speak Esperanto?
Mia kusenveturilo estas plena de anguloj. Anguilla is an
Nothing.
eel. Eel in most Romance languages, that's an eel. Kusenveturilo.
Jelly deals.
Cushion. Vehicle.
Eel cushion. Hovercraft.
Estas plena yeah, my hovercraft is full of eels. There you are.
Seriously?
Yes. Now, it is possible to imagine a future in which there will be no war and no poverty, but I confidently predict there will always be general ignorance. So fingers on buzzers, please.
There will always be war and poverty, too.
Between the years 2000 and 2005, what percentage of the country's rainforest was cut down?
400.
400%.
None.
It's got to be over
None
50.
is the right answer. They
None.
replace every tree they pull down with another tree.
That's just reforestation, but just planting a seedling isn't the same as...
Next to Suriname, which
Dutch
is
Guyana.
exactly right, where they don't play cricket, I suspect. Anyway, there you are.
No, they're more into speed skating.
I'm out windsurfing. The breeze is ruffling my childhood sun-bleached hair. I look up and I see on the horizon a ship. How far away is it?
25 miles.
No.
I thought it was always 21 miles.
No.
And I didn't even get flags for that.
No, I didn't know that anybody always thought that it was 21 miles. Let's assume I'm 6 foot tall. I'm actually a bit taller. The distance to the horizon in miles is approximately the square root of 1.5 times your height in feet.
Square root of 9 is 3 miles?
3 miles is the right answer.
That's it?
Sea level, the normal horizon is only about 3 miles away. Back
but the
home
ship
now,
sits
what kind
above
of
the
weather
horizon?
kills more people in Britain than any other?
Bad weather. It's wind.
Not wind.
No.
Heat wave.
Fog is the right answer, finally.
Do you want me to explain fog to you, Ben? What happens in?
Do you know the difference between fog and mist? There is an official difference.
Is it the height of it?
No, it's actually just the density.
Because in mist, you can be seen in a sort of Mac, whereas in fog, they can't see you at all. You're safe. No one can spot you. Step back in, you're gone.
Smog, of course, is an urban phenomenon. Smoke and fog. The last really bad one in London was in 1952 and lasted 4 days. How many people did it kill?
50-something. I saw that episode of The Crown.
No.
They all died
3,000.
fairly roughly, didn't they?
No.
4.
No. It was 12,000 people.
12,000 died? Jeez. I don't remember that episode of The Crown, then.
But I was in, last week, one of the Hawaiian Islands, and they don't have fog there, they have, do you know what they call it? It's not smog or fog.
Sun.
No. They have Vog. Why Vog?
All the Jewish people have moved there.
No.
Hey, fog, what do I care? Well, look at you. Where are you? You're there. You're 2 foot. I can't see you, for Christ's sake. What's going on?
No, it's a volcanic fog. It's the fact that there's a volcano going off on the big island there. When, oh when, will they finish painting the 4th rail bridge?
Never. They're always painting it.
Never, because by the time they get to...
Putting on a new special coating that's a combination of paint and epoxy resin.
Is the right answer. Very good. It will last 25, possibly even 40 years. 40 years.
You've just come back from that big industrial paints conference, haven't you?
And well ahead of his time with 14 points is Ben Miller.
Yeah, appropriately.
And with 7 points is Sean Locke.
Thank you.
With minus 31, it's Rob Brydon.
Oh, Rob took some hits. Minus 31 for a guest. That's low.
With minus 60, Alan Davies.
Minus 60? Even though he knew about the paint epoxy combo? Wow. Oh, he did, like, rattle off all the bad weathers, didn't he?
Good night.
Tell me more about Ben Miller. I mean, obviously, he's a scientist. Is he a particle physicist? This seemed to be like, it seemed like he has some connection with CERN and maybe the search for the Higgs boson, which hadn't yet occurred at the time of filming. But yeah, he seemed. I like when scientists develop a public persona and they're charismatic enough to explain science at a level that the normal person can understand. Now, obviously, Sean Locke and Rob Brydon aren't normal, and I get that there's a shtick about when smart people start talking, average people just tune them out. It's frustrating. Here in North America, the very smart aren't trusted, and I see similarities in the UK, and yet I also see that there's a show like QI that certainly celebrates knowledge and intelligence and all the rest of it. But then, yeah, it's weird and it disappoints. But it's also funny. So I'm not going to harp on it, but I would have really liked to have heard some of Ben's explanations, and instead we're cutting to Rob and Sean doing their bored looks for laughs, and in the second half of the show, Ben didn't do any more interesting explaining, which I actually really appreciate. Nevertheless, another Sean episode, and I appreciate seeing these Sean episodes because there won't be any more. I miss Rob Brydon because I miss Would I Lie to You, because copyright doesn't like me doing Would I Lie to You reactions. I might try them again. Maybe they've forgotten about me. I don't know. But when there's a window in the schedule, maybe I'll jump back into some more Would I Lie to You, because I do miss it and I have a lot of fun with that show, and I miss not just Rob, obviously, but Lee and David Mitchell as well, and I'll probably know even more of the guests if I return to it now. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see some more Would I Lie to You reactions. But thank you to all of you who recommended this episode, because it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to see it. Don't forget to let me know what other episodes you'd like to see me react to. I have a list. I'm working my way through it. I promise you, even if it's a fairly long list, guys. So if you have recommended one in the past and I haven't reacted to it yet, by all means, let me know again. But it's probably just one I haven't gotten to yet. Don't take it personally. I try to distribute my reactions throughout the entire run of the show. Let me know what episodes of the most recent Series T, are worth reacting to, now that hopefully there's some XL versions out, if not by now, but hopefully soon. Always hard to tell the future when I'm doing this, because I react to these 2 months before they end up on YouTube. So I'm trying to do my own little prognostication right now. But let me know which ones are the best, which ones I have to see. And yeah, man, anything else you can do to help with the algorithm is always greatly appreciated. Liking, subscribing, hitting that bell, it's all great ways of letting YouTube know that you're liking what you're seeing here on Neil Talks. Believe me, I do appreciate it. And until next week, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.